Off the face-off, Buckman's got it. He'll play it off the boards and down the ice, and that'll pretty much do it for the power play. Hamilton back in the neutral zone, out of the box. And back to 5-on-5. Scriven's got it down low in the corner, trying to poke it back up top to the point. That drive sent wide. Hughes didn't see it. Christie trying to hold the point. He'll pull it out at center ice. Scriven knocks it back for Buckman. Buckman spinning it back in his own zone. Christie into his skates. He's got to reset. His pass is turned back the other way. Here's Norman. Norman has Bartis with him. Couldn't get it across to him. We'll go back up top to the blue line. Sula on the near side. High slot. Here's a drive. Tipped through. Never got to goal, though. Scriven will knock it down, and he'll head back the other way. Ryan Scriven through center. He's stripped of the puck. Hamilton's back into the zone. Onside. Big hit into the zone. Look out. As Christie laying his weight around. That was Bartis he got a hold of. Bartis goes right back after him along the far boards. Christie and Bartis exchange pleasantries as it'll get settled down in the Brantford zone, and Bandu will wait for changes. Ryan Sparnay out there, the affiliated player here today for Brantford. Nowhere number 4. Playing out on the line with Caden Wicklander and Tyler Clark to start, as it'll be back at center. Inzers back in his own zone for Bandu. Bandu, tap pass, here they go. Sparnay into the zone for Clark, just out of his reach. Back down low, it'll be flipped up high at center. Bandu, back for Inzers. Inzers moves it back up. Sparnay in for Clark, he's dumped on the near side wall. Lyle on the far wing. He'll work it out at center. Kilty Bees in onside. McSorley threads it through. Nobody there. Lyle was too far ahead of it. He got it back. They'll send it right back in deep. McSorley will stay up in on the forecheck as Brantford awaits their set. Wicklander. He'll stick handle through the slot and up at center. Caden Wicklander dancing his way into the Hamilton zone, holding it off to the side. Gets it back up. Sparnay to the point. As Glavacki fans on the shot, Hamilton will send it back the other way. They get back on side. Here's Campolo, a drive, fanned on it. Rebound back out front, and he missed his man. Tipped on goal of Fabry, and he couldn't get a hold of it. Glavacki will work it up at center. Wicklander stripped to the puck. Brantford laying the hits early on there. There's another one on Pepin that time. Midway point of this first period. They'll work it back below the goal line. Watt fires it up top. Little tap pass for Oud. Pepin keeps him to the outside, but they get it for Papel. Papel coming in, trying to center it out front. He was looking for Capel. It was blocked by Hamilton, and the Kilty Bees will get it out of the zone. Here's Campolo at the Brantford logo. Luca Campolo trying to shovel a shot on. He's sandwiched in between two defenders. And it'll be worked out by Buckman. That'll roll down the ice. Not enough for icing as it's waved off. Titans in on the attack. McAfee Rankin up for Ferguson. Ferguson will work his way through center. Here's Ferguson. Quick drive, and it's gloved aside by Gall. David Buckman for Christie. Who now chips it back for Christie. Christie goes for Buckman in behind the goal. They'll work it up top as Buckman will lift it up at center. Gauthier off the bench in for Papel. Papel for Gauthier. His tight angle drive is high of the net. Burton goes back the other way. Here come the Kilty Bees back in on the attack. Flipped out through the neutral zone. Colton Main, the other affiliated player here today for Brantford. He'll wear number 2 out there now. Main on that third line with Levkov and Gauthier. Bartzis at center. They'll chip it down into the zone. Bandu lays a hit far side. Trying to chop that puck down. Campolo can't get to it. It'll be spun back to the far side. Bandu on it. Bandu around for Gauthier. Hopped over his stick. Hamilton holds the zone. And now Bandu will start back up at center. They've got three back the other way. As Levkov couldn't get it into the zone on side. It'll be dumped out at center and back into the Brantford zone. Inzer's back to collect. Bartzis all over him. Collides with Gall in goal. As Inzers will weave his way in his own zone. Now up at center. Here's Scriven. Scriven has it down on the right wing to the forehand. Tight angle shot. And it's lying loose out front, but there's shoes to cover for a face-out. 7:23 to go here in the first. Off the face-off, Titans have it. Up top, Christie drive, tipped on goal. Hughes was down, made the save. Back up top, Christie. Can't find a lane, he'll dish it off for Buckman. Buckman for Christie. Christie back for Buckman. Buckman will let it fly through traffic out front, and Hughes, another good save. And another face-off coming down inside the Hamilton zone. Off the draw, Christie backs up to the blue line. Christie trying to chase McSorley. He gets it back up for Buckman. Buckman looking, fires, tipped on goal. Hughes, good save down. That puck is still loose in behind the Hamilton goal now. Christie cycles it around. Here's Buckman. He'll shovel it on goal just wide. Good pressure here from the Titans. Christie for Buckman. Buckman for Scriven in the slot. His shot turned aside by Hughes. Stippen gets dumped in the corner. Lyle after it for Hamilton. And Lyle trying to clear the zone. Lofts it out of play. And the face-off remaining in the Hamilton zone. Kilty is able to get a change off here. Christie back to collect in his own zone. His stretch pass able to hit Sparnay. Sparnay works it down low. Wicklander in a battle for it down low, but it's picked out by the Kilty Bees, and they'll work it out at center. Fabry down the left wing. Goes back across, tipped on goal. Good left pad save made by Gall. We got a penalty coming, though, here. Hooking is going to be the call. And it looks like Hamilton's going to head back to the power play with 5 and change to go here in the first period. Off the face-off. Sulog after it. Bouncing puck. They'll be knocked out by Clark. And Hamilton will have to regather at center. Down low with it. Glovacki chips it off the boards and out for Clark. Clark, rink wide. Here's Wicklander in down the wing. Wicklander fires, and he scores! Caden Wicklander finding some space down the far side wing, short-handed. Beats Hughes over the left shoulder, and Brantford's got a 1-0 lead. And he remains red hot, his 5th goal in his last 6 games. Wicklander puts Brantford up 1. So a 1-0 lead here for the Brantford Titans on Wicklander. As he's got his 20th of the season. Burton up at center. Works over the blue line, trying to get toward the goal. Glavacki, a good job to keep him to the outside. Centering pass up top. Campolo fanned on it. He'll dump it back. McAfee rank it. Goes Campolo, a shot. Called a save, and he's got the rebound too, as he will hang on. And then we get some rough stuff after the whistle. That's Quentin Lyle down in it. Campolo not happy. Everybody's got a partner, and we'll settle it down here. Gretzky Center. So you get some penalties coming out of that scrum. Looks like we'll play we'll keep it 5-on-4. Offsetting roughing penalties, we would assume, as this face-off comes now outside the zone. Scriven dumps his man in the neutral ice areas. Lyles over the blue line. Tried to stop up and settle it. If Bandu a good read, he'll clear it down the ice. McAfee Rankin. Scriven all over him down in the corner. He'll leave it for Lyle. 30 seconds to go in the first minor penalty. Stewart drops it back. Here's the captain, McAfee Rankin. His last game in junior hockey. He'll work it across the blue line. Drop for Burton. Burton for Stewart. Out of the far side. At the blue line. Comes back over. Here's McAfee Rankin again. He'll skip it. Here's a shot. Stewart tipped just wide of the net. Back down low into the corner. Here's Burton back at the blue line. 4 seconds to go in the power play. Stewart for Burton. Burton coiling in. He'll fire a shot. Tipped on goal just high. Fabry back after it down low. He can't get there. McAfee Rankin able to hold the zone. Hamilton gets it out for Stewart. He'll fire a shot, but it's tipped up and out of play. Off the face-off, it'll be one back. Hamilton holds the zone. Quick snapshot toward the net. Back to 5-on-5 here now. Mateo Gauthier got it across the blue line. Here's Gauthier trying to send it across. Gets it back on goal. Good save made by Hughes. Christie after a rolling puck, able to hold it in the zone momentarily. Gauthier back for Clark. A backhand drive. It was blocked by Pepin. Christie almost his pocket pick. Here's Clark. He'll wheel in, over for Gauthier. Mateo Gauthier settles it down, centering pass, it's picked off. Hamilton heads back up ice. Dansmer wiped out along the far side by David Buckman. Christie getting into it down low. Well, trying to work that puck free. Still pinned down low in the Brantford zone, and now they're going to blow it down with 2:45 to go here in this first period. And they'll bring the faceoff inside. They'll keep it rather inside the Brantford zone. Off the faceoff, here's Glavacki across the blue line. He'll dump it into the end boards. Ferguson up at center, looking for Bartzis. Couldn't get it. It'll bounce back in on goal. Hughes will steer it to the corner. Ferguson, he'll skate it out at center. Trying to split the defense. Watt gets tied up with Glavacki as they keep Ferguson down low. Glavacki High loft shot out at center. It'll bounce down the ice. Does it have enough for icing? It'll wave it off. 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Stretch pass onto the far wing. Into the zone is Tyler McDougall trying to make a move on goal. He's hauled down. Bandu going to take his second penalty of the period. And it's going to be a hooking call on Bandu. So Hamilton heads back to another power play here and a chance to even things up late in the first period. So Hamilton sits back up on the power play. Go to their third power play of this period. Stewart has it, back of the point. He'll sling it for McAfee Rankin. McAfee Rankin down low for Lyle. Out front, backhand drive, loose puck. And it's kicked to the corner. Stewart's got it back up top. He'll go to McAfee Rankin. Gavin McAfee Rankin down low, centering pass, looking for a tip. Fabry couldn't get a stick on it. And Brantford able to chip it down the ice. Buck 25 to go in the power play. Buck 18 to go in this first period. McAfee Rankin will collect in behind his goal. Kalpakis trying to work it in, but he's denied entry, and it's fired down again. Through the neutral zone. D'Amelio. Met right at the blue line. Capel trying to work it free. Here's Scriven. Gets it out, but it's Hamilton turning it right back in with Campolo. Rink wide pass. That's to nobody. And Watt will fire it out at center. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Worked up at center, poked down into the zone by Ferguson with 15 seconds to go. Trying to turn it back, Campolo. Bouncing puck back to the point, able to hold it in D'Amelio. He gets it in for Ferguson. Ferguson spins and fires his shot. And Gall thought about letting go, but with 6.3, he hangs on for a faceoff. Off the face-off, Ferguson trying to get it back to the point. One last shot, maybe. Here's D'Amelio tipped toward the net, and that'll drain the clock as time will expire here in the first period. So 20 minutes in the books. It's 1-0 Brantford. Caden Wicklander continues to be red hot here at the back end of the regular season. In the final regular season game for both of these teams, he's got his 5th goal in his last 6 games. He's got his 20th of the season. The lone goal in that first period. 1-0 Brantford on top. We'll step aside, and we'll be back for period 2 here at the Gretzky Center. game for both of these teams. Hamilton missing the playoffs this season. This will be their last game. Brantford, the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, will meet Fort Erie in round 1. Those playoffs will start next week in the 3-6. Trying to center it out front. All alone there. Soon a drive, and Ferguson got his stick in the way as it deflects up and out of play. Off the face-off, down low. It'll be chipped around to the far side. Capel. Campolo holds it in, back down low for Oon. Fabry on it on the near side. He'll play it back for McAfee-Rankin. McAfee-Rankin up at center. Campolo hits Fabry in stride. Back for Campolo, a drive. Rebound, a couple of good saves by Gall. Hamilton, good pressure. Here's a drive just high. All the way around McAfee-Rankin. And it'll be flipped high out at center. Campolo able to tip that puck down in. Icing will be waved off. There's Gavin Christie. He's able to just get it out of the zone. At center, Scriven. For Christie. They got 3-on-1 back into the zone. Stippen goes across, but a good play by Sulak back in the zone to deflect that puck. They can't clear it, though. Here's Watt, a drive. Hits a body out front. I think it hit his own teammate, Scriven. Watt, back at the point, has some ice. He steps up, fires a shot, looking for a tip out front. But a nice pad save made by Hughes, and it's out at center. Stippen will knock it down. Titans coming off a 3-1 loss yesterday to Port Colborne. That series, the 4-5, should be a good one. Pelham and Port in the Eastern Conference. They'll clash in the first round. And Pelham last season not making the playoffs. They lost to Brantford in the last regular season game as that shot is driven high to eliminate them. And Brantford went on to knock off the Air Centennials in one of the bigger upsets in the last couple of years in the playoffs in the first round. It's Emilio down low. Bartzis has it down low. He'll cycle it around. Chip back up top to the blue line, back in. Race for it. Kim LeMay after it. Here's Hughes out to play the puck. He'll send it back out at center for Scriven, who picks it up. Scriven knocks it back out of the zone. Hamilton going to be offside as Bartzis couldn't get out of the zone in time. 17 minutes left to go here in the second period. Just underway. Second frame here at the Gretzky Center. 1-0. Caden Wicklander's 20th of the season. The lone goal thus far here this afternoon. Off the face-off, loose puck at center. It'll be gathered into the zone. Here's Bartzis trying to center it. It'll roll on goal, and Gall will cover. Tied up off the face-off, Bandu can't clear the zone. Now it does. Pepin can't hold it in. Trying to get after the puck is Clark. Hamilton's right back in. Bartzis on the far dot. He lost it. It's turned back by Inzers. Inzers up for Clark. Clark trying to feed it in for Wicklander. Wicklander's got Gauthier to the goal. And here's Wicklander. A centering pass into the skates of Clark. He'll get it back in at the point. It's blocked, and it'll be back the other way for Hamilton. Here's Jack Norman. Norman for Pepin. Pepin for Kalpakis. Kalpakis, nifty move. Into the slot. Here's a shot. He scores! Nico Kalpakis ties the game at 1 apiece here early on in the second period. Nifty move to get some open ice. And he's able to beat Gall far side. 1-1 here in Brantford. That'll be dumped in for icing. So a 1-1 hockey game now here, early on second period. Ferguson on the face-off. Brantford will have it. High lob shot out at center. Bouncing puck. Raymond will knock it down on the back end. Look out, Ferguson was coming in, almost turned it over. Ferguson able to get it up the ice. David Buckman back in his own zone. McDougall shadows him. McDougall gonna force a turnover. He'll dump it back off to the point. Back down low, up top, a drive. Good save made by Gall. It's bouncing in the blue paint, and it's knocked out by Brantford. Buckman. He'll move it through the neutral ice area. David Buckman off on the far side. Here's a drive right on, and Hughes will glove it. And hang on for a faceoff. Off the draw, it's tied up in the corner. Sulug up top, rolling, and now Hamilton will work it out at center ice. D'Amelio chips it over, return pass, and it went over his stick. Back in the neutral zone, Hamilton right back in. Arellano to the goal, trying to chop it to him. Rolling puck in the slot, stepping up to a backhand goal to save it. Sulug holds it in. Campolo back for Sulug, up top, far side. D'Amelio drive, blocked out front. And Brantford will clear it out at center. And that's going to roll down for icing on Hamilton. Or on Brantford, rather. 14:34 to go. Face-off win, Hamilton. There's Pepin a drive. Swallowed up by Gall. Face-off to the left of Gall. Stippen. Back for Glovacki. Lofts it into the corner. Here's Pepin. First man on it for Hamilton. Around for Lyle. Lyle tried to bump it out. Up top in the slot. Scriven a drive. Nice save. Hughes as he flashes the leather. Another shot right on. Hughes hangs on once again. Off the face-off, Glovacki's got it at the blue line. Glovacki cycles it in down low. George Raymond plays it around the boards, but not out. Chipped in by Watt. Stippen tied up on the end boards. Ferguson able to work it free for Burton. Burton cuts back out front. And Hamilton's McAfee Rankin will work it for Raymond. Raymond up at center. Into the zone. Burton streaking in, a shot turned aside by Gall. Back in through center. It'll be knocked off stride. Burton's got it in the neutral zone for McDougall. He'll play it off the boards. Here's McDougall streaking in, trying to cut on goal. Good job by Glavacki. Back out front as it'll be settled down by the Titans and worked out at center. Kim LeMay into the zone for Scriven, a backhand drive. It's turned aside by Hughes. Gauthier trying to power move to the goal. That didn't work, and Hamilton's back the other way. D'Amelio out of the far side. Bartzis gives it back. D'Amelio lost the puck. And Brantford, Inzers, will start back up ice. Wicklander bouncing puck. He's trying to get to it. Marcus Sula, the big defenseman, back. Tried to flip it up, but he turns it over. Here's Gauthier, and he couldn't get a shot off. Gauthier back on it in the corner. Work back up top, but it's picked off, and Hamilton is back through the neutral zone. Jack Norman will flip it in deep. Bartzis gets tied up on the far side with Clark. Clark's able to poke it free. Bandu back at center for Wicklander at the line. Wicklander for Gauthier, trying to settle a bouncing puck, and he couldn't loft it in. Flipped up at center. Here they come back the other way. Norman to the backhand out front. Goal down, loose puck. And they blow the whistle. And now Wicklander's going to get tied up with Norman after the fact. That puck was clearly loose, and Brantford going to dodge a bullet as they get a quick whistle from the official. Brantford looking for a spark of momentum heading into the playoffs. GOHL playoffs starting next week. In the first round, talk about the Magic last season, getting in the last day of the regular season. They had to win to get in. They got in, then they beat Air in 7 games. Carter Vicente, unbelievable run for the Titans in goal in the playoffs. I mean, outstanding goaltending, able to knock off the top team last year. So it'll be dumped into the zone. Hughes bouncing puck, turned to the side, and Hamilton will work it back up. Vicente had game 1 last night up in the OJHL now with Burlington. 57 saves to knock off Milton in game 1 of that series for Carter Vicente. So something about playoff hockey and him. Back the other way. Here's Papel off a turnover. He fires a shot. Tried to go short side, and he sent it high. Now it's Arajado busting in 2-on-1. Hamilton back the other way. Arajado a shot, and he scores! Back in Brantford with a bang. Ethan Arajado returning to the team he started with this season, and he buries one short side. Hamilton, 2 goals in this second period. It's 2-1 Kilty Bees. Flip down into the zone. Bouncing puck that's going to be a tripping call on Brantford. Hamilton's going to go back to the power play. Look at Hughes fly to the bench. Hamilton across the blue line. It'll be touched up by Watt. And the Kilty Bees will go to their 4th power play here and look to get a little bit of a cushioning. So Hamilton back to the power play. Campolo's got to be out at center. Brantford's lone goal here today has been shorthanded. Caden Wicklander hitting the 20-goal mark. Joins Caleb Frank up in that company for Brantford this season. Wicklander, does he do it again? No, he couldn't get away. Campolo, a good play. Campolo almost turning it over to Wicklander. He's got to get back, though, now. Here's Lyle into the zone. Lyle down to the half wall. They'll work it, and they set up. McAfee Rankin to the far dot. Burton skating in behind the goal. He'll cycle his way around to the near side. Burton into the slot. He'll drop it off for McAfee Rankin. Stewart cycles it back in deep. Pop back up to the point. McAfee Rankin chips it over. Loose puck. And what a save by McAfee Rankin. Wicklander would have been gone again shorthanded. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Nice move. Stewart into the zone. He's chopped off the puck, but gets it back. What a left pad save made. Gall just able to get enough stretch on that to keep it out of the back of the net. Brantford trying to rip off a change here. Meanwhile, it's D'Amelio back into the zone. D'Amelio tried to center it. That didn't work. In a bouncing puck, settled down. Arajato's got it. He'll go to the near side. D'Amelio. 10 seconds to rip in the power play. Pepin. Arajato. Try to feed it in for Pepin. That was picked off by Wicklander. And Wicklander's just going to flip it back out at center now out of the penalty box. Here's Kim LeMay after it. And it's cleared by Hughes. Icing's going to be waved off. Hamilton able to beat it out. Kim LeMay out at center. He'll feed for Scriven. Nice play off the boards to himself. Here's Scriven in. Scriven tight angle shot. And a shoulder save made by Hughes. Stippen back out in the neutral zone. 8 to go in the second period. He'll weave his way back up top. Buckman streaking in. A shot sent just wide. All the way around. It'll bounce down the ice. And that's going to be icing on the Kilty Bees with a tick under 8 to go here in the second period. And a 2-1 Kilty Bee lead. No active games right now across the Greater Ontario Hockey League. But later on today, it'll be Port Colborne in Fort Erie, 7 o'clock, 7:10. St. Thomas in Sarnia. Chatham is in Kamoka, 7:15. And then a couple of 7:30 starts. London in Strathroy, Cambridge in Caledonia. Up top to the blue line, Hamilton holds the zone. Nick Sorley trying to feed it back in. We should mention it's pretty much, set, but you never know with these games. As Scriven works in, backhand drive, save made. As now Hamilton will work back out. If the off chance that that Caledonia is able to knock off Cambridge tonight, and Ayr loses to Pelham tomorrow, Caledonia would then be the 7 seed. Ayr would drop to 8. Then it would be Ayr, Cambridge, St. Catharines, Caledonia, if that happens. Right now, Ayr's 1 point up on the Corvairs. But again, that would require a Caledonia win tonight and an Ayr loss tomorrow. So we'll see how it shakes out. Oon back for Christie. Feeds for Oon, a shot. Save made there by Hughes. Back out of the near side wall. Here's Inzers. He's got some space. He fires a shot through. Hughes turns that aside. Papel cycles it down low. Good pressure here. Late in the second period from Brantford. Almost a turnover. Loose puck. Lunging at it. Inzers. Another shot toward the net. Hughes the save. He'll poke it to the corner. Worked up at center. And Norman will flip it down indeed. Capel in the battle for it on the far side, trying to work that puck free. Hamilton does. And a good stick on the back end. And now Oon had a bump over his stick. Here's Campolo. Nice move in tight space. Can't get a shot off, though. Back to the corner it goes, and it'll roll out at center. Pepin heads back. Icing's waved up. Pepin gives way for Stewart. Stewart wasting no time getting it up the ice. Here's Besmer. Poked off his stick. Campolo back after it at the point. Holds it in. Injures, though. Trying to chip it out. Second whack. No. Still can't clear the zone. Campolo, a good job. Here's Hamilton. Pepin back to the point. He's got it up at the blue line for Stewart. Fabian Stewart, his shot through traffic. Loose puck, another great left pad save. How did that puck stay out? Off the crossbar, down and out was Gall. And Campolo couldn't bury it. Should have been a 3-1 game here. Brantford dodges a bullet. Here's McDougall in as he fans on his shot. Now it'll be lofted out at center. Here's Wicklander behind the defense. Caden Wicklander 2-on-1 with Clark. A shot right on. And it's smothered by Hughes. A little bit more tight in the Western Conference coming down to the final game. St. Mary's losing last night in overtime to Elmira. Eliminates their shot at the first seed. They will get the 3 seed, and they get Strathroy or LaSalle, who are both tied with 53 points. Chatham has 2 games remaining, 35 wins for them, 75 points gets them at the top of the standings. They have Kamoka and then Stratford as that centering pass is sent to the near side. Elmira has 1 game left. They're at 36 wins and 75 points. And they'll play Sarnia on Sunday. So you pretty much assume that Chatham needs to win both to secure that top spot. Here's Ferguson in. McDougall down low. Glovacki sends him in hard. And London will get the 4 seed over Stratford. Both have 66 points. London, though, an extra win. So that'll be a good first-round series in the West as well. Stratford and the Nats. Glovacki works it out at center. Hooked up into the zone. Penalty coming. Back official got it. It's going to be a hooking call, and Brantford's going to go to the power play. Titans set up on the power play. Here's Buckman. Back up at the blue line. He'll spin off Kim LeMay. Trying to go near side. Christie, it rolls to him. Christie, rink wide. Way too hot to handle for Kim LeMay. He's got to chip it in. D'Amelio in the battle for it on the half wall. He gets tied up on the far side. Stippen coming in to help. Held in by Kim LeMay. Down low for Scriven. Kim LeMay for Buckman. Buckman, near side. Christie, one-timer. Save made there. Buckman, it rolls back up top to the point. Here's Kim LeMay, a drive through traffic, down. That puck ticket. Weird ricochet out front. Brantford holds the zone. Near side pass, Christie. Couldn't handle it. They've got it back down low in the corner. And they'll blow it down. Face-off will be to the right of Liam Hughes in goal. And it'll be cleared by Hamilton off the rip. A minute to go on the man advantage here for Brantford. We're going to tie this game back up before the end of the second frame. Here's Buckman. He'll drop it back for Christie. Gavin Christie for Wicklander. Caden Wicklander. He'll skip it around to the near side wall. Christie finds some ice. He'll work across the slot, far side. Gauthier opts not to shoot. Back to Christie at the point. 30 seconds to go on the power play. He'll swap with Buckman. Buckman back for Christie. One-timer just missed on the far side, and it's all the way around the boards and out. Wicklander into the zone. Down the far wing, he'll spin off a check. Wicklander has a man. Gauthier in the slot, just lofted it high. That'll do it for the power play as Lyle's out of the box. Here comes Hamilton. Bartzis a drive. Turned aside by Gall. Hamilton got to get back now as Arejado comes into the play. Arejado, he'll slip through the defender. Here's Arejado, a quick shot. That's just wide. Gauthier moves down the left wing. Into the zone, here's Gauthier moving his way over. Into the slot, Caden Wicklander all alone, his shot turned aside. And now a battle for it down to the corner. The officials will blow it down, and the faceoff will come in the Hamilton zone. Oh, another good look for Caden Wicklander. Unable to capitalize. And with 54.1 to go, Brantford get an offensive zone faceoff. Off the faceoff, here's a tight angle shot, and it's fought off by Hughes. McAfee Rankin's got it down low. He'll play it off the boards and up, looking for Arejado in behind the defense. Bandu a good job. Bandu for Oon. Oon down the left wing, 30 seconds to work with. Cycling it in, but it's turned back the other way by Hamilton. Norman will give chase. Capel back in his own zone, got to cut in behind the net. Off the boards, not out. Bandu will play it off now for Papel. He gets driven into the far side by George Raymond, and 10 seconds to work with here. All the way around Norman. Silky able to work out with it. He'll get it in deep. Bandu all over him, takes him into the end boards, and that'll do it for period at number 2. So Hamilton trailing after 20, on top after 40. Couple of big saves in the period from Liam Hughes. Couple of big goals for the Kilty Bees. Ethan Arejado returns to Brantford and buries one. He's got the game winner at the moment as he put the Kilty Bees up top 2-1 as they try to end their season with 2 straight victories. Through 40 here in Brantford, 2-1, Hamilton on top. We'll take a break and we'll be back for period 3 here at the Gretzky Center. welcome back inside the Gretzky Center. Here in Brantford, Alec Murray with you. Thanks for joining us. Final regular season game for both of these teams. The Brantford Titans trailing the Hamilton Kilty Bees 2-1 through 40. As we get underway here in period number 3. One of 7 games on tap tonight across the Greater Ontario Hockey League. Regular season wraps up tomorrow. Final game of the year will be Waterloo in Welland. And that'll conclude the regular season for 2025-2026 as Hamilton's got it down low in the zone right away. Up at center, here's Capel. He'll loft it to the corner, and Brantford will head for a change, so will Hamilton. Jackson Pepin in his own zone. He feeds it up on the far side for Javen Stewart. He gets sent back at center, so Pepin's got to head back in his own zone for it. Scriven all over him. Pepin will knock it down and head back across the defensive blue line. He's got Fabry. Fabry try to chip it into the zone. Polo gets dumped after the shot. Big hit, Kim LeMay. Back up top to the point. Pepin holds the zone. He's got Campolo. He finds his man up top. Here's McAfee Rankin's drive. And it's gathered up there by James Gull for a faceoff. Off the face-off, it'll be Stippen firing it in onside. Scriven just able to stay onside. Raymond down in the corner amongst 2 Titans, centering pass out front, and Kim LeMay on his offhand couldn't get a shot off as it'll be sent down into the zone. Down low into the corner. Back up top. Here's Scriven. He'll work it through center. Wiped out as Scriven will dump it in deep. McAfee Rankin back to collect for Hamilton. Back out front. That comes cross slot. Nobody there. Kilty Bees will set it out at center. Here's Arajano again. Arajano trying to get by the defense. In on goal. And Gall will play it aside. He's been everywhere here this afternoon. The former Titan. Here's a turnover shot. Save made there by Gall. Knocked down at center by Colton Main. That's going to be knocked down by a high stick. And that'll bring the face-off out at center. Lavacki in his own zone up at center. He'll back of the blue line. Here's Watt. Watt tipped down into the zone by the AP, Sparnay. Hamilton. It's it out at center. Watt intercepts there. He'll send it rink wide, chopped down into the zone, but Hamilton right back the other way. Here's Lyle. Turns it back over to Watt. Watt. He gets by one man. Here's Alan Watt trying to center it. And he couldn't get a stick on it. It'll be chipped out of the zone. And here go the Kilty Bees back up through center. Jake Besmer leading the charge. Trying to get through on Bandu, but a good job to take the body away. Brantford will head back through center. Colton Main into the zone. He back fires it across. It'll be knocked down there as Sparnay let that shot fly. They get both APs out there for a shift together. Norman into the zone. Look out. He had to avoid Inzers. Gauthier coming back to swipe that puck up. Fired right back in. Kilty Bees out and back in. Here's James Gull to leave it for Bandu. Bandu. Up onto the near side. Here's Clark. He'll get it out for Wicklander. Bartis chops it off his stick. Norman in offside. Hamilton 4 minutes into this third period and a 2-1 Kilty Bee lead here. Off the draw, it'll be fired down into the Hamilton zone. Brantford all over it. There's Wicklander in on the forecheck. He's got the lone goal for Brantford here this afternoon. It's Norman's pass across. Out of the reach. Kalpakis. He's got the first goal for Hamilton in this one. Second of the season. Clark up onto the near side. Gets bumped into the zone. Trying to get it to Gauthier. Gauthier. Try to spin it back across. Loose puck there on the far side. Clark bumps his man. Holds it in momentarily, but now it'll be taken out at center. Norman and Bartzis, a 2-on-1. Here's a shot, and that's sent wide. All the way back across. That shot toward the goal. Wide of the net. Bartzis has it down low. Centering pass picked up by Wicklander, and Wicklander will move through center. Caden Wicklander fires one on goal. That'll be turned aside by Hughes. Gauthier. He gets dumped on the far side. That should be a penalty, I would assume, and there is a penalty coming. And it's going to be on Kalpakis. He's not happy with the call. Clearly a penalty, though, and Brantford's going to head to the power play. High sticking is going to be the call on Nico Kalpakis. So the Titans a chance to even this thing up. As they'll go to the man advantage for a pair. Dancing around here at the face-off dot. Got to rearrange here. The face-off down inside Hamilton territory. Didn't matter. They won the face-off anyway. Christie out there with Buckman. Kim LeMay, Scriven. And Stippett. Christie will go back up top. There's a shot. Tipped on goal by Stippett. And Liam Hughes has it for a face-off. Face-off down to the right for the Hamilton goal. Sulug plays it down into the corner. It'll be cycled around there, back up top to the point. Christie for Buckman. Brantford power play over today. They have one shorthanded goal in the game. Kim LeMay, high slot. Here's Buckman to drive. It's blocked. And now a chase for it out at center. Tyler McDougall all the way down into the Brantford zone on it. Buckman able to keep him off the puck, and David Buckman will have to go back forward with $1:10 to go in the power play. Looks like the Titans will keep this unit out there. They will. Buckman back for Christie. Christie going to flip it in. If the Titans looking for a deep playoff run this season, going to have to rely heavily on Buckman and Christie on the back end, but it's cleared again by Hamilton, as they'll get a new kill unit out there with 13 and change to go. Buckman spins it back for Quinton Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay will wire it into the zone all the way around to the far side. Stippen meets it. 40 seconds to work with here. Kim LeMay. Pepin, good battle in the corner. Still can't clear it though. Brantford will set up. Here's Buckman. Little give and go. Back and forth they go, and it's out at center. One too many passes for Buckman and Christie. And now they turn it over. At center, they run into each other. Here's Fabry. Try to go inside out. A good job on the back end, Christie. Luke McSorley spent time last year in London, as it'll be worked out. And now Christie will circle back in his own zone. Glavacki, power play over. Back to 5-on-5. Another kill for Hamilton here today. Matthew Oons got it in the corner. Papel in there to help out, but that'll come to Lyle, and Lyle will work it for Campolo. The two veterans into the Brantford zone. Here's Lyle. He'll spin off a check. Lyle up top. Just able to hold the zone. As that shot toward the net, Watt knocked it down, and he'll just dump it down the ice, and that'll be icing on the Titans. With 12:22 to go here in the third. Tied up down to the corner off the faceoff. Campolo trying to free it up. Lyle. He's got it now on the half wall. He'll spin it down low. Campolo. Back around to the far side, and now it'll be brought out by Oon. Oon for Papel into his skates. So Sulug, time to play it. D'Amelio for Campolo. He's into the zone onside. Here's Luca Campolo cutting to the middle. Fires! Luca Campolo scores! In his final game in junior, Luca Campolo adds to the goal total. It's 3-1, and Hamilton's got a 2-goal lead here in the third. So Hamilton, a 2-goal cushion now here in the third period. And it's going to be offside. Norman didn't see the linesman, so that'll come out at center. Off the face-off at center. Titans will play it back for Bandu. Bandu. Inzers up on the near side, hits Clark. Here's Clark with a step. His shot, but Stewart able to get back. Tight angle drive from the far side from Gauthier. Off the side of the net, and Hamilton. They'll coil back through center. Here's Burton. Burton working in, across the crease. That one comes back to the point. Pepin tried to force it on goal, but it's blocked by Clark. 3 unanswered for the Kilty Bees in this one. Here's Wicklander. Really nothing doing in the offensive zone for the Titans since that Wicklander goal, and that was shorthanded. Wicklander for Gauthier. There's a drive. Rebound, Wicklander. What a save made. Liam Hughes sprawled out on his backside, able to keep it out, and it's flipped out at center. Gauthier right back into the zone, onto a Hamilton stick, though, and they could have a 3-on-1 back the other way. Here's Fabry. Fabry stops. Tried to get it across. Couldn't, though. Norman back into the corner. Christie takes his man into the end boards. Don't play it around. Raymond back of the blue line. Just feeds it back in behind the goal. All the way around. McAfee Rankin stepping up in the play. Wicklander back onto the near side, and Brantford will work it out at center ice. 10 minutes to go, midway point of this third period. And a 3-1 Hamilton lead. Battle for it back down in the corner. Fabry comes away with it. He gets pinned in there by Sparnay. Turned back the other way by Colton Main, and he's at center. Main into the zone, onside, gets it back. He'll head in after it. Back in their own zone. Here come the Titans. Glavacki out at center. Stick chopped out of the hands there of Besmer. Brantford's going to dodge a bullet there as neither official saw it. It'll be flipped out in the neutral zone, and here goes Hamilton. Back into the zone. A 3-on-1. Shot off the post. In behind goal. It comes back out front, and it's swiped away. Zone is held. Centering pass. That comes cross crease. Nobody home. Besmer. Back on it now on the near side. McSorley trying to work it free. Brantford, trouble in their own zone here. Is Watt now with it. Ferguson onto the far side. It'll be tipped down into the zone. Glavacki. Back for Bandu. Bandu will skate through McSorley. He's got it onside with Scriven. Bandu on goal, right on. And there's Hughes to cover. 8 to play now here in the third period, and time's starting to run out for the Brantford Titans. Should mention no Connor Clark or Caleb Frank in the lineup today for Brantford. Give them a day off and get ready for playoffs incoming, as that'll be bounced out at center. Bandu blows a tire in his own zone. Inserts. He's back to collect. Campolo, bouncing puck, trying to get it around. He'll get it down low. Bumped off stride by Stippen. Campolo in a battle for with Bandu. Arajano works it up top. Stewart is shot, blocked by Bandu out front. Loose puck in the slot. It'll be chopped out of the zone. Here's Stewart. Lofts it back into the far corner. Bandu after it. Arajano spins around him. High stick. As that caught Bandu up in the face. He's down on the ice in pain. And now they're going to blow it down because Bandu caught a high stick up top. And you wonder if that maybe got under the cage or that fishbowl that he wears and got him in the neck area. That was Ethan Arajano who got his stick up in the face area of Bandu. And now the trainer out to take a look. Hamilton today 0 for 5 on the power play. Brantford 0 for 3. Other games going on today. We'll take a look as we get a break here in the action with 7 minutes to go. Port Colborne in Fort Erie. 7 o'clock puck drop from the Leisureplex. St. Thomas must-win game over Sarnia for them tonight, as they're in a battle with Waterloo for that final playoff spot. 1 point separate them for that final playoff spot in the Western Conference. That's at 7:10 at the Pat Stapleton in Sarnia. Chatham and Kamoka will go at 7:15. Big game for Chatham. Again, trying to solidify first place in the Western Conference. It'll be London in Strathroy, 7:30. Strathroy, one of the hotter teams in the Greater Ontario Hockey League right now, as they start to hit a groove. And then it'll be Cambridge in Caledonia at 7:30 from the Holdeman Caledonia Community Center tonight. So Bandu will head down the tunnel, and they're going to take a closer look at him. Meanwhile, big power play here, almost a must score if you're Brantford. So Arajano sits for 2, no blood, so it is only a minor penalty. Capel up top to the blue line. He'll skate in, back across. One-timer Christie, and he fanned on it. And now Christie takes a shot up high. No call as it continues. Capel is shot. That's tipped on goal. Save made Hughes. Back up top to the blue line. Buckman just going to let it fly. Hit a body out front. Rebound to the corner. Christie all the way back around for Buckman. Here's Capel skating in. Fires through traffic. It dribbles just wide. 6 and change now to go. Buck 10 to go on the power play. Here's Buckman. Far side. Christie. One-timer! That's the look they're looking for. Gavin Christie scores on the power play. And it's back to a 1-goal game. It's 3-2. So the young defenseman gets his guys right back in it. We said a must score off the top. That's exactly what they do as they work that puck around the horn. And Christie buries in the far down to the one-timer. 3-2 hockey game here. Exciting finish right down to the wire in this one. Off the face-off, it'll be fired down by the Kilty Bees. That's going to be icing. So Luca Campolo's goal looms large now. A 3-2 Hamilton lead. Christie back at the blue line. He'll stutter step. See if that gives Brantford a little bit of momentum in this one here. Down along the end boards. It'll be cycled around up top, and now here comes Burton at center. Burton down the left wing, cuts to the middle, fires his shot, and it's kicked out there by Gall. So Christie's 7th of the season, as Burton back in onside. Burton, his shot, dribbles on goal, Gall to save. Buckman a good stick to get it to the wall. Near side pass, another good stick, as it'll be chopped up into the bench area and out of play. So Buckman and Capel pick up the assist on the Christie goal. And now Brantford is, look out, Watt blows a tire into the end boards. Lost an edge there, and that'll be flipped down the ice for icing on Hamilton again. Now under 5 to play as time continues to tick away. We mentioned matchups pretty much set for the first round unless Caledonia wins tonight and Ayr loses tomorrow. That could flip the 7-8 seed. But Cambridge, no easy task for Caledonia. Corvairs are 0-3 this season against the Redhawks. Prestillo loft to the far side. Everything stays as is right now. You're going to get Cambridge and Caledonia, Ayr and St. Catharines, Brantford, Fort Erie, and Pelham, Port Colborne. As that'll be chopped back down the ice again, it's going to be icing on Hamilton. Caledon will miss the playoffs for the second consecutive season. Welland will miss the playoffs for a second consecutive season. Hamilton, this will be their first time missing the playoffs. They were barely in last season, but they made it. Lost to St. Catharines in round 1. As Pelham takes their spot in the playoffs this year. Fired down and around, all the way to the near side. Stewart onto the far wing. Kalpakis after it. He bumps into Glavacki. Stippen will play it for Norman. Norman back up for Stippen. Here's Norman into the zone. Glavacki takes him into the boards hard. Sent around to the far side. Stippen drops it off there. Louis Inzers in behind his goal for Glavacki. 3 and change to go. We'll start to keep an eye on the goaltender goal. Little tap feed out. Kim LeMay's got a man and Scriven with him. Here's Quentin Kim LeMay to the backhand. Across! And he was looking for Scriven. He just couldn't get a stick there. Peeking over at the bench now, James Gull with 3 minutes to go. Here's Christie. They've got the big boys out. Up top, shot blocked. Loose puck. McAfee Rankin in to pick it up for Hamilton. He'll play it around here for Burton. Burton streaking down the left side. Drags, fires his shot, and it's going to deflect out of play. A perfect spot here for Brantford to use that timeout if they so desire. With 2:47 to go. Gonna up not to. As Glavacki slips it around the near side. Trying to get that puck out of the zone. Inzer's got to circle back with it now in his own end. Inzer's up on the near side. Here's Capel. Capel stops and starts at center. He'll fire a shot in deep. D'Amelio chips it off the boards, and Hamilton will head back the other way. That pass intended for Burton off a stick, but Burton gets it in the middle. Here's Burton in on goal. Great stick by Gull as he poke checks it away. 2 minutes to go in this hockey game as it's out at center. Fired back in by Hamilton. Kilty's just playing keep away now as Glavacki got tied up at his own blue line. Campolo out at center. He's down the left side. Luca Campolo tight angle drive. That's wide of the net. All the way around. Oon shovels it in, but that deflected wide, and now Hamilton is back with it at center. McDougall tried to shake Buckman. That didn't work. David Buckman will work it to the near side, and Clark. Tyler Clark down the wing, looking to get the goaltender out of the goal. They still can't get Gall out. 1:30 to go. Running out of time here. I'm not sure why he's still in the goal. Gall remaining in as Brantford with pressure down in the zone. Back up top to the far point. They'll cycle it in for Clark. Buckman has it at the point. I'm not sure what the goal is here for Brantford. Gall looking at the bench. No signal yet from his head coach as it's out at center. Sustained pressure for the Titans for at least 45 seconds in the zone, and they let Gall sit in the net. That's going to be on him. He'll play it. Buckman, and now only 50 seconds to go. Now the wave for Gall. Now they'll get the sixth attacker out there, but only 45 seconds to work with. Empty net for Brantford, 6-on-5, looking to tie it late. Hamilton will just shovel it out of the zone. Christie, high off the glass, gets it in deep. All the way around to the near side, Kim LeMay. Held in by Wicklander. Bouncing puck on goal. It'll be spun back. McAfee Rankin can't clear it out. 20 seconds to go. Christie, Bachman, bodies flying everywhere out front. Wicklander took a high stick up top. They blow it down with 13 and change left in the third period, and it's going to be a power play. 6-on-4 for 13.4. Brantford not going to use their timeout either. 6-on-4. See if they've got one more left in them. They win the faceoff. Kim LeMay up top, shot right on. The save is made. As Hughes will hang on with 9.3 to go. And are they going to call the timeout now? So they'll call their timeout with 9.3 seconds. Brantford is called for 30-second timeout. So they'll chat things over. If they can get a face-off win, lots of time for a look here. Hamilton trying to go out on top. Not the season they've wanted. It's been an uphill battle for the Kilty Bees the past few seasons. Coaching carousel in Hamilton continues around. Management as well, so they're still looking to hit their stride and find their guys. Try to get this team back to where it was a few seasons ago. Face-off, tied up. Brantford gets it. Buckman up top for Christie. Fanned on it. Back across out front. Loose puck. Wicklander fires one. Deflected just wide, and that is it. Tons of good looks for Brantford at the end of this one, but Hamilton comes away on top as the Kilty Bees end their season with a 3-2 win here in Brantford. And how about the storyline? Luca Campolo, in his final junior hockey game, scores the eventual game winner in the third period, and the Hamilton Kilty Bees come away with a 3-2 win as they string together a pair of wins to end their season over Fort Erie Thursday and here this afternoon. So Hamilton, that'll do it for their year. They'll go back to the drawing board and reset and look forward to next year for Brantford. It's back to practice next week. In game one of the playoffs, the first round in the GOHL, they'll get Fort Erie and the Mets and Brantford Titans in a best of 7. We'll sign off here from the Gretzky Center. Thanks for joining us as Hamilton and Luca Campolo come out on top. 3-2 final here today.